Hedgehogs, they're cute little things, ain't they? But like, what do you want, like a big hedgehog, like a cat-sized hedgehog, but you know, minus the quills, but at the same time you don't want it to look like a living testicle, so you give it hair, but that concept is too cute, so you make it like edgy and shit. You make it a terrible hedgehog. Even perhaps you could even say like the ultimate life form among hedgehogs. Deinogaleryx, which technically translates to terrible shrew, and is only technically a relative of hedgehogs because their closest relatives are the hairy hedgehogs. Just as like a rule of thumb, yeah, whenever I say hedgehog, I'm referring to the hairy hedgehogs, not the true hedgehogs. Get out of my shot. At first I was only thinking about making this video, that is until I like went to the library and I found a book on like prehistoric life, just like a general overview of all prehistoric life. I flipped to a random page in the mammal section, sure enough Deinogaleryx is there, so I took that as a sign that yeah, maybe I should make this video. Anyway though, look at that, what is that body plan? What do you call that body plan? A long-legged possum and Andrew Sarkis that identified as a cat? Actually, this hedgehog relative is convergently evolved with another hedgehog relative not closely related to Deinogaleryx, the moon rats.
This makes me feel like a rat.
And I say not closely related because the two genera formed separately, but are both part of the same hedgehog subfamily Galericinae. If you want to learn more about moon rats, I will be linking a video by Jay the Researcher. If you like Lil Waterbill or early Trade the Explainer, you're gonna like him. Anyways, Deinogaleryx. How did this thing come into existence? Once upon a time in the Miocene, sea levels were much higher due to the reduction of ice cap zone. This left parts of Italy underwater. The higher parts of Italy were left exposed as islands, and a population of the hairy hedgehogs was left on the island of Gargano. On Gargano, much like any other island, the small animals had a lot of resources to work with, so they got bigger. This can be perfectly seen with Gargano's other inhabitants, like the cat-sized hamster, Hatomis gargantua. Like, come here. Imagine a hamster like this big. Oh, Marshmallow. Like imagine this, but a hamster. She actually did happen to just be like right there. Or the 4-foot-tall terrestrial goose, Garganornis, which had evolved to be a bird browser, much like an ostrich or an emu. And the large animals had much less resources to work with, so they got smaller. Like the deer, Hoplitomeryx. Yeah, so deer like Hoplitomeryx shrunk to be the size of like a small Labrador. And speaking of Hoplitomeryx, I have to make a video on like the antlers of prehistory, because there are so many just crazy antlers all throughout prehistory. I should like rank them too. Hedgehogs, being small animals, got bigger on Gargano, going from tiny bug-eating predators to what could have possibly been the apex predator of the island. For example, imagine a hedgehog, but this big. Hello, Oliver. Now then, here's my personal little speculative biology headcanon. There's no proof for this. I'm going to put speculation up here in the corner, like that one Rusticons video on Inkling Biology. Maybe Deinogaleryx could have kept like the sharp bristly fur that hairy hedgehogs are known for, which by the way, that's the main difference between hedgehogs and hairy hedgehogs. Hedgehogs have proper quills, hairy hedgehogs don't, they just have sharp bristly fur. So maybe Deinogaleryx could have kept the sharp bristly fur. And it would have needed this because it may have been the apex terrestrial predator, but it wasn't the apex predator. Two large birds of prey roamed the island. Garganoides in day, and by night, Tyto, a giant owl. One was a predatory buzzard that no doubt would have seen Deinogaleryx's food. The other Tyto gigantea was a large owl, probably didn't hunt Deinogaleryx, seeing as it was too big to swallow whole. Like imagine like a 4-foot tall owl. What's a good? My dresser's like 4 feet tall, right? I'm holding Oliver right now, so like I still have that meter stick, right? Yeah, I do. Here's a meter stick I keep in my room for measuring my wiener. So this is like 3 feet. Holy shit, that's a big owl. Oh my god, this is 3 feet. That means that this owl is like a 4-foot tall owl. It's as tall as the dresser. Goodbye, Oliver. Yeah. So if it was not being hunted by Tyto because it was too big to swallow whole, it was most definitely hunted by Garganoides. And that must mean that Deinogaleryx was nocturnal, much like modern moon rats. Unfortunately, this island wouldn't last forever. Eventually, climate change would cause the polar ice caps to expand as the world transitioned into the Pleistocene, and the Ice Age that it brought with it. The island residents were exposed to competition from the mainland, and they went extinct.